the fascinating and ever-changing world of agriculture. Let's hit the road here in Georgia and meet the farmers, producers, makers, and bakers who keep us all fed and keep us coming back for more. Straight ahead at the Fork in the Road.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand.
Georgia farmers, artisans, merchants, and producers, we depend on these men and women every day of our lives through the choices we make and the food we consume. Their strategy and approach is always shifting, but the end game remains the same: results. The farmer-chef relationship is a special one that we share on this show quite a bit, and for good reason. The more they share, the more they understand and respect one another, and in the end, it's a better final outcome. This episode follows world traveler and decorated chef Jared Hucks as he explores 3 Georgia farms that source his decadent menu at the Michelin-recommended restaurant in Brookhaven known as the Alden. Let's begin our journey with Chef Jared in the mountains of Ellijay, Georgia, where a longtime fork-in-the-road friend continues to grow his fantastic varieties of fungi. Now here's a little tidbit. Mushrooms aren't really plants, they are fungi that have a plant-like form with a stem and a cap, and this part we see in harvest is strangely enough the fruit or reproductive part of the organism, which disperses the spores for reproduction. Hungry yet?
Welcome to the mushroom.
Wow.
We have our golden oysters here
Those are so pretty.
and our lion's mane. This container is like the happiest place on earth for mushrooms. This is all controlled by a computerized system that professors at KSU wrote. This is made up of hardwood sawdust and some bran, or sometimes we use soybean hulls mixed with golden oyster mycelium. The mycelium is, so to speak, the seed of how you grow your mushrooms.
So you inoculate your logs with spores,
Yes.
which have the
The type of mushroom you're gonna grow.
science.
Science, we're mad scientists. We're starting to grow some amazing lion's mane.
Really nice, beautiful, firm texture.
There's a huge request for lion's mane. Everybody's learning the health benefits of these. They're really great for memory. And right behind your head, chef, we have one giant,
Oh, that's gorgeous.
one giant
Look at that.
blue oyster.
Oh my gosh, look at the gills.
It's like the cauldron.
Such a beautiful work of art. So what's the difference as far as growing, say, a shiitake and a lion's mane?
The lion's mane take the longest right now. They're taking about 15 to 20 days before they get to this size. They're just a lot slower. In this container that we're in right now, the temperature is around 62. We can make this container range from 55 to 85, depending on what species we're growing. The shelf life for shiitakes is a lot longer, so you have at least about a month from the time we grow it before it goes bad. Worst case, we'll dry them and we'll make powders out of them. We've made some fudge with shiitake powder and oyster powder. We also dry them and put them in spices also.
Very nice. I just want to lay on a bed of lion's mane. I was hoping maybe we could harvest a couple of these. Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to eat that.
And if you want to harvest a big chalice,
That is, that is beautiful.
these shiitake logs, once they're colonized, meaning that once the mycelium eats all the nutrients inside the log, it builds up an immune system, just like you and I have an immune system. Shiitakes actually have a giant amount of vitamin D in there, so they're really good for your health and building up your immunity. Everything in here is hand harvested. So when you come through, our team comes harvest the mushrooms, and then we'll put these straight into the cooler to cool everything down, because the mushrooms are going to put off heat if they get together.
When you sell the mushrooms, there's different grades.
Yes, our number one is this with the gills looking perfectly and the caps right there. Our number twos are a flatter mushroom, which is kind of like this, how it's flat.
Oh yeah.
They're still great and edible. The chefs just like a thicker, meatier mushroom compared to ones a little bit more flimsy.
Definitely.
I think one of the reasons why our mushrooms are so good is our magic mountain water up here in the mountains. We have a great source of spring water that just feed these mushrooms and make them so vibrant and healthy.
You're definitely, just like I am a cook and a technician in the kitchen, you're very much a technician on the farm, that you are constantly ebbing and flowing with nature. And
The mushrooms don't sleep, so we have to be in here harvesting, otherwise they'll go to waste and become number twos. So one whole row right here could take you all day, just one person harvesting.
so do you think they talk to each other and are like, I'm gonna be number one?
100%
And the other one's gonna be like, oh no, I might be number two.
100% they do. That's like the first internet was the Wood Wide Web. So it's underneath. That's why you don't see trees piled up to the sky, is that mushrooms have started decomposing all those trees. And once it breaks it down to make our earth amazing and fertile, it's definitely talking to each other and saying, what do you need over here? What do I need over here? I'm gonna get bigger than you. So it's really how we have this amazing earth and soil so that we can have great food and have amazing chefs like you cook it and showcase it, because mycelium and mushrooms break it down to have the soil. One of the things I want to show you, Chef, with shiitakes, most chefs take the stems off of the shiitakes, meaning that they're kind of fibrous. So let's harvest this guy right here for a second. And so they're kind of fibrous, right? Feel how thick that is? And one of the new tricks was I've been showing my chefs is that once they're peeled, they become very soft and moist. Feel how soft and moist they're in there.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a lot of our chefs make some vegan barbecue out of these.
I can totally see that. Oh yeah. Back to the kitchen.
Back to the kitchen. Let's go in to see how these things are packed up in our shop. Today we're getting ready for our orders for our grocery stores and our local restaurants. You can see our amazing team here packing up shiitakes and oysters in our boxes. Israel, who are we packing up right now? We're packing up the Chatel Farmers Market, which is right around the corner from the Alden.
Yeah.
We have an amazing team, and this is why our mushrooms are so amazing, is because these great humans here.
This operation has grown beautifully over the past 4 years, and the reason is because of beautiful, calculated execution and, of course, amazing taste. And when you're in the midst of an award-winning chef with some of the world's greatest mushrooms, why not set up a cooking station down by the river and let Chef Jared go to work on a grilled cheese inspired by this fungi and his fungi?
Today we're gonna use the shiitakes and the oysters. All right, we also have country bread from the local bakery in LJ, a little Green Hill from Sweetgrass Dairy, and then we have some other cheeses. We have some beautiful pickled ramp bottoms, a little bit of arugula. So we have a nice little sandwich we're gonna put together for lunch today. I have these beautiful mushrooms that I went ahead and sauteed a little bit just to get a bit of the water out. You know, cut them down a little bit so that we have a neater sandwich in the end to be eating on. So I've got a little bit of garlic and shallot here. All right, I'm gonna go in with my mushrooms. We're gonna cook these just for a couple minutes. We saute them a bit just to get a bit of the water out so that they're nice and soft. I got a little salt and pepper here. Gotta season everything. Toast my bread a little bit. At this point, I have a bit of a toast on the inside. This is gonna be the inside of the sandwich. A little Gruyere cheese, which is a type of Swiss, really delicious. And then the Haverty, right? And I got a little bit of cheddar as well, you know, I might as well put some cheddar on there. And then we have our Green Hill, beautiful local cheese. I'm gonna put the mushrooms on there. So I've cut the mushrooms down in a way that, you know, hopefully they'll stay on the sandwich. And then I have these beautiful pickled ramps. I usually pickle the bottoms and then we use the tops for sauce. So this is gonna give it a beautiful pickly, oniony flavor. Delicious. And then I have this beautiful arugula right here, which is obviously gonna be wilted, which is what we want. I'm getting hungry now. All right, now for the moment of truth. We're gonna put the sandwich together. There we go. Eating a mushroom grilled cheese on a mushroom plate on a mushroom farm. Doesn't get much better than that.
With the fun guy.
On a mushroom bridge.
Dare I say, the best mushroom-loaded grilled cheese of all time.
Cheers. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
And even better news is that our Chef Jared's farm journey is only getting started.
You make magic happen.
We now journey from the mountains of Ellijay to a farm in Rome located on the river's edge where Chef Jared gathers some greens that inspire another great dish. Craig and Kiki are the heart of Tucker Farms, and like we've echoed many times here on this show, when it comes to farming, you've gotta love it to do it well, and that they do. For over a decade, they've invested in this land nestled on the banks of the Oostenala River, growing specialty lettuces, greens, herbs, and seasonal garden vegetables. They believe in the direct seed-to-plate model, and Chef Jared Hucks is one of the many talented chefs scattered throughout the Southeast who depend on Tucker Farms for their dependable, sustainable, high-quality crops.
I have a construction background. Next thing I knew, I was leasing some property from a friend and started planting like 10 acres. Things were a lot different back then because I didn't know what I was doing, so I was just planting like squash and tomatoes and trying new things, strawberries and carrots and spinach and okra. You know, a lot of southern staple food because that's kind of what I knew. And I started going to a farmer's market. The first one I went to, I had like 4 or 5 gallon buckets of squash, but I sold out. I went and bought a table and tent and went back the next week and had like 6 or 8 buckets of squash and zucchini. Sold those out. I got better and better each week, and you know, here we are, like what, 15 years later, and kind of grown quite a bit.
It's been really remarkable to watch the farm grow. We go back and see pictures of like this whole area was just red clay, and now it's covered with life, and we have all of these hoop houses, and we're harvesting 52 weeks a year. We love being able to have the food for our family, our team, our chefs. There's just something really special about being able to have that connection between the land and the plant and then the people who eat the food.
We got some tomatoes growing in here. We had all broccoli in here, and we pulled some out and we're replanting it with tomatoes. So these are flowering now.
Definitely excited about the heirlooms.
We got a lot of new varieties I think you're going to be liking this year.
So when are the broccoli plants coming out?
The broccoli may actually come out today or tomorrow, so we can get some more tomatoes in here.
I like these little fronds here.
These are little florets. After you cut the main head, they start putting off side shoots.
We're definitely into these florets. If we want to talk about that later, sending some of those down with some of the leaves.
You like the little tender ones or the bigger ones?
I'm gonna pick some of these flowers for the salad later. We've really been enjoying that green garlic.
The green garlic?
Oh, it's delicious.
I think that's in the next house over there. You want to walk over there and look?
Yeah, absolutely.
We usually just pull it out like this, and that kind of loosens the soil.
Man, just gonna take a bite out of that. It's nice to see that you have enough of it.
Yeah.
As of now, right?
Yeah.
Though Chef Jared's menu is always evolving and changing with the seasons, having a few things he can always count on is definitely a plus. Craig and Kiki are growing here 52 weeks a year.
We absolutely love connecting with the people who prepare and serve our food. Like, there's really not much cooler than that. Every week, I send out lists to let folks know what we're harvesting in a given week, especially with like Chef Jared. We do a lot of correspondence back and forth about like what's coming up so that he can menu plan around that.
And that's the good thing about working with these chefs is, you know, they kind of take what we got when we got it, but they like to change their menu a lot, and whatever's fresh and seasonal, they make it star of their plate.
The kale is so special. I can't find this kale anywhere else.
So what do you do when you have a world-class chef in a greenhouse bursting with ready-to-harvest greens and veggies? Set up a pseudo prep station and let his creative juices flow.
They're making this salad at the restaurant. It's on the menu, and we have all these beautiful ingredients from Tucker Farms. We call this salad kale carpaccio. So you see how all these colors are just kind of bouncing off each other. Beautiful color. Some red vein sorrel, also some mizuna, which is a mustard. And what we have here is a fermented parsnip with turmeric juice. So now we're getting into sort of the sauce and the seasonings of the dish.
And after all this watching, I had to ask Farmer Craig to man the camera. just for a minute while I took care of some important technical details.
Oh, perfect bite, man. Good job. A lot of our patrons come for adventure
Yeah.
and to try new things. That's the reputation that we have. You work with wonderful people like this and you get the freshest, most seasonal, most local product, and you can't go wrong. It's a win-win.
Delectable, nutritious, and frankly, a work of art. Chef Jared, Craig, and Kiki plan to continue this tasty relationship, one that benefits the likes of you and me, but just me on this particular occasion. Let's now journey from Rome to Reedsville and discover the source of the Alden's main course, the 100% naturally farm-raised beef of Chatel Farms. Cattle, grass, and corn as far as the eye can see. 1,200 acres total, 300 acres for irrigated crops, and 900 acres for the animals. And watching over these cows is a rancher named Colin who works hard every day to take care of these cows while fulfilling the mission of this unique farm.
So every animal that comes on here, we vaccinate it and then we lot tag it pertaining to each producer. We put an EID tag in its ear for traceability. And then one unique thing that we do that not many people do is we take a DNA swab of every single animal on this property. And that's for two reasons. We can verify the breed of that animal, whether it's Angus or Akaushi. We can verify that it is 51% from a traceability standpoint. So you as a chef, you can take your piece of beef, you can take a sliver of it and send it off, and we can show you from the end stage all the way back to the beginning stage, the whole cycle of that piece of beef, which is pretty unique.
So what is the process of feeding the cows?
They have access to pasture, as you can see, but we feed them a grain-fed diet, and that's what gives you know, grain-fed beef. That's where you get your true flavour. We analyse all our feeds and we formulate an exact diet to meet their nutrition needs. They have everything they need in what we feed them. You think that machine is a big KitchenAid. That's basically how I describe it. And so the guy that's on the loader, he's got a tablet on there, and all these are his ingredients. And it tells him how much of each ingredient to put into the KitchenAid. And the KitchenAid mixes it, and then we have a tractor or another truck come, drops into the truck, and then it goes out to the pens. And on the truck, it's GPS. So everybody knows where they're supposed to be. If our driver pulls up to the wrong pen, it won't let him put out that feed. So then we know, then the truck driver knows how many pounds of feed to feed each specific pen every day. We call this our micro room. This is where we feed all our micro minerals. All our rations are formulated by a nutritionist. We take samples every 2 weeks of all our feedstuffs, analyze them, and then we form different rations. So when the animal comes in, it'll go through 2 grower rations, and then it'll go through 2 finishing rations. And then we have a really high finishing ration. This computer here, it's linked to our loader, our mixer wagon, and our batcher. So we collect all the information that goes through this computer on a daily basis. We want to achieve the best. I gotta have the right animal. The best possible product you have in the beginning, AKA the cow-calf producer. And if you follow that the whole way through, it'll show in your restaurant.
You know, and it's the same when we receive the product in the restaurant. From the time that we receive it to the time that we put it on the plate and serve it to the consumer. It's something that we're always teaching our team is to really preserve that quality and to take care of the product as best you can until it gets to the consumer. And that's our job.
You want to enable that superior quality to go all the way through the line. And the only way that happens is if everybody does their due diligence and works to their best of their potential.
Special cattle raised in a sustainable environment, offering a superior meat for chefs like Jared Hucks, who truly care about where their meat comes from and how they are raised. Both the farmer and the chef are 100% transparent, and the proof is in the pudding. Or should I say the plate. Let's now work our way back to the city of Brookhaven to the kitchen of the Alden, where Chef Jared Hucks combines his Georgia-grown veggies, mushrooms, and American Wagyu for a delectable final dish.
Alden in Old English means old friend or friend to all. It's also my middle name. But this is our concept at the restaurant, the convivial feeling of being amongst old friends. And that we really love to have a transparent environment for folks to come in and see the hustle and bustle of the kitchen and the communication amongst the team. So there's no barriers, there's no walls to separate the guests from the chefs. We're not hiding anything. You see it all here. I went to culinary school in New York at the French Culinary Institute. I decided to sell everything I owned and travel abroad and learn more about other cultures and cuisines. I packed a backpack, and what was meant to be an 18-month backpacking trip turned into a 7-year stint of my career. I traveled through 30 countries. I feel that the cuisine here at the Alden, it's a very eclectic mix of the melting pot that we call the United States.
All right, Chef, this is the moment I've been waiting for.
All right.
We've been going farm to farm, and now we are here in the kitchen of the Alden.
Excited. We have some beautiful ingredients here today. All right, so we'll start with this New York strip from Chatel. This is beautiful Wagyu beef, beautiful marbling. So the first thing we're gonna do is season it, of course, salt and pepper.
What is it about the strip you like?
What I like about this is that it has that nice fat cap, and that's where all the flavor is.
That's right. That's right. I'm not afraid to eat the fat.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and cook both of these. And we do like to cook over open flames as well. You know, we have a yakitori grill where we use Benchiton coals. We have a big green egg outside where we'll cook over hot coals. Sealing the meat, getting some nice color on there. Color is flavor. Add some butter. Get some garlic cloves in here that I've smashed already. All right, I have some bay leaves, fresh thyme, rosemary.
I love that your customers are out here watching it all happen.
Oh yeah.
It's like an arena here watching the chef.
Prime time, yeah. I've got that nice bubbly butter, and as you're basting, the butter, the hot butter is releasing all the flavor from the garlic and the herbs.
All right, so we've done Chatel, now on to J.
We have 3 beautiful mushrooms here from J today. The first one is the lion's mane. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sear these off.
Growing up, I never saw lion's mane, you know? It's
Me neither.
kinda-
It's definitely something that I've learned about in the past few years. All right, so again, like color is flavor, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking for some nice, beautiful golden brown. So at this point, I'm gonna go in with my shiitakes, my oyster mushrooms, a little salt, pepper,
Onions look a little different. What kind of these?
sweet onions, sort of Vidalia style onion from Chatel Farms. And then also we have some beautiful green garlic, which is basically the beginning of a garlic plant.
Oh, cool.
So you have the lion's manes, you have a little bit of the oyster mushrooms, some shiitake, the beautiful green garlic. And then what I'm gonna do with these is I'm gonna make some onion cups. And then we have our condiments here. We call our cuisine here condiment-centric and sauce-centric. So this is a red onion marmalade, a black onion jam here. Plop that over here.
Carrot puree.
Yep. We have a little bit of beef jus here. You see we take these, we pour a little sauce into the onion here.
Onion cups.
Yep.
There we go.
All right, I have the beautiful sauce. And then we have our red wine jelly. And I think that's probably good without getting too busy.
I had no clue it was going to look like this after everything was said and done.
So you have a lot going on here. It all makes sense together though. You know, you have the beautiful mushrooms from J Mushroom, the green garlic and the sweet onions from Chatel Farms, and then of course the beautiful New York strip from Chatel. While it looks visually stunning, it really doesn't matter what it looks like as long as it's delicious. And deliciousness is priority number 1.
That's why I'm here. Thank you. Oh, if only every episode could end like this, right? We've been working 4 days for this meal, and it is worth it. Thank you, Chef. So after traveling from the mountains and rivers to the coastal plains of South Georgia, it's fair to understand how Chef Jared Hucks and the Alden have earned their recognition they've received as a Michelin-recommended restaurant. Food that is meant to be shared, food that evokes conversation, that is locally sourced and loved by those who partake in the final dish. I'm David Zelski. See you at the next Fork in the Road.